So, you know that feeling, right? Trying to set up a decent home theater, maybe, or wrangling monitors in an office, or even thinking bigger like a control room. You've got all these video sources, streamers, consoles, maybe security cams, and then all these screens. Getting them all to, well, play nice together, directing the right thing to the right place. Or, and this is the tricky one, combining multiple screens into one huge unified display. It can feel like you're trying to, I don't know, conduct an orchestra with just a drumstick. Total chaos. And honestly, I always kind of figured that level of smooth control, especially for those really impressive video walls, was just for the, super high-end, mega expensive setups. Well, today on the deep dive, we're going to unpack a piece of tech that might just shift that view a bit. Our source material is a product description. We're focusing on the WolfPack 1080p 16 by 16 seamless HDMI video wall matrix switch. Quite a mouthful. So our mission here is to kind of cut through the jargon, make sense of it all, figure out what this thing is, what it actually does, maybe why people are calling it a game changer for complex video situations. I'm really curious how one box tackles such a big problem. Looking at the description, two things immediately grab me: seamless switching and video wall capabilities. Those sound like the core magic here, right? So, okay, let's unpack this. How does this one gadget simplify what seems like a super complex job? And how does it enable those amazing video walls you see popping up everywhere?
Yeah, what's really fascinating here is how a single unit, like this Wolfpack, aims to basically centralize everything. All that control over what would normally be, well, just a chaotic mess of screens and signals. It's like giving your whole visual setup a brain. Think about the usual headaches, jarring black screens when you switch sources, or just how hard it is to scale up from a few TVs to a proper unified video wall, or the nightmare of rewiring everything if you want a different layout. This device is really designed to just get rid of those headaches. It enables that incredibly smooth, real-time video delivery that, yeah, used to be only for super specialized custom systems. That's the key insight, I think. It sort of democratizes high-end video control.
Democratizing high-end video control. Okay, I like that. Let's dig into that seamless switching part first. We've all seen it, right? You switch inputs and boom, black screen flicker. It's annoying. The description mentions 100 millisecond seamless switching. Why is that specifically hard to pull off, and what problems does that actually solve for the user?
You've hit on something really crucial there. That flicker, that brief black screen, it pulls you right out of the experience. In a professional setting, think a command center, a live event broadcast, even a fancy retail display, it just looks bad. Unprofessional.
Yeah.
Distracting. Achieving that truly seamless, like imperceptible switch at just 100 milliseconds. Well, it means the video changes so fast your eye barely even catches it. It's not just about being fast, though. It's about some pretty sophisticated internal buffering and processing. It lets the device essentially preload the next signal before it cuts over. So there's zero visual interruption. This is absolutely key for dynamic presentations, security monitoring. Anywhere the continuous visual flow is critical, keeps attention, gets information across effectively.
Ah, okay. So it's about looking professional, keeping the impact. Got it. And then the other big one, the video wall capability. How's that different from just, I don't know, hooking up a bunch of monitors near each other? What makes it a true video wall, and how does a device like this make it happen?
Right, and that's where the creative side really opens up. With a standard matrix switch, sure, you can send one source to one screen, or maybe one source to several screens at once, but a video wall is different. It takes a single source and stretches it, perfectly maps it across multiple screens, so they act like one enormous display. Imagine taking one high-res picture or video and seeing perfectly tiled across, say, 4 monitors, or 9, or even 16, making one giant image. The WolfPack switch supports exactly that. It uses its 16 inputs and 16 outputs not just to route anything anywhere, but also to intelligently combine outputs into that single cohesive canvas. This lets you create some seriously immersive stuff, like huge data visualizations, a giant view of a sports game, or maybe some cool artistic display, way beyond what one monitor can do.
That really does sound like next level stuff. Visual command center in a box almost. Okay, beyond the seamless switching and video wall magic, the description lists a whole bunch of control methods. Let's see. WEBG, an app, push buttons, IR remote, RS-232, TCP/IP. Whew, why so many options? Isn't one or two usually enough?
Well, that variety really speaks to all the different places this kind of device could end up. For a quick setup, maybe in a home theater or just for troubleshooting, an IR remote or the buttons right on the front panel are great, easy. But then think about a complex business setup or an institution, you need more robust control, often remotely. So a WB GUI or a dedicated app gives you that nice visual control from a computer or maybe a tablet. And then RS-232 and TCP/IP, those are absolutely critical for integrating it into bigger existing control systems, like the kind you find in smart homes, big conference rooms, or large command centers. They allow for automation, programmed sequences. That's where the real power of system integration comes in.
Right, so it's all about flexibility, different tools for different jobs, basically.
Mhm.
You also mentioned a couple of other tech specs that caught my eye, the embedded audio and HTCP 1.4 compliance. Could you just quickly break down why those matter for someone considering this?
Absolutely. De-embedded audio first. That just means the device can pull the audio signal off the HDMI cable and then send it out separately, maybe to an external sound system, an amplifier, sound bar. Super useful if your display doesn't have great speakers. Or you want the video going one place and the sound going to a dedicated high-fidelity audio setup. And as for HDCP 1.4 compliance, well, that's not just tech talk. It's actually crucial for playing protected content. Think Blu-rays, streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, even modern game consoles. Without HDCP compliance, that premium copyright protected stuff it won't show up, blank screen. So it's really about ensuring broad compatibility, making sure it works with pretty much all modern video sources you might throw at it.
Ah, okay, that's a big one in. Got to make sure your movies and games actually work. The product also talks about 10 gigabits per second bandwidth and supporting resolutions up to 1080p at 60 hertz. What does that bandwidth number, 10 gigabits, really mean in practical terms for the user?
Yeah, 10 gigabits per second. It's a lot of data throughput, a big digital highway. It basically guarantees that even really demanding high motion video like live sports, fast video games, maybe rapid data feeds spread across all 16 outputs, stays sharp, stays fluid, free from compression artifacts or lag, no stuttering. It's the pipeline that keeps all those high quality signals flowing smoothly without any bottlenecks. And 1080p at 60 hertz, while not 4K, is still the standard for a massive range of professional and consumer displays, so it ensures wide compatibility and really excellent image quality for most uses.
Okay, so it's got the horsepower. But with all these advanced features, what are the main things someone needs to think about, or maybe potential challenges if they want to set up a system like this? Is it truly just plug and play, or is there more to it?
That's a really important point. While this WolfPack switch definitely simplifies things a lot, it's probably not just a case of plugging it in and you're done. You'll still need the right HDMI cables, for instance. The description mentions it supports 1080p at 60 Hz over 45 feet using good quality, like 28 AWG HDMI cables. That's a decent distance from many rooms, but if you need to go further, you might need to look into HDMI extenders. Oh, and the TAA compliance thing. That just means it meets certain trade agreement rules, making it suitable for government or some institutional purchases, a specific requirement for some buyers. But really, its strength is consolidating control. The main challenge often isn't the tech connection itself, but more the planning, figuring out what exactly you want to show and how you want it all laid out visually. That's where the fun creative part comes in, I think. So yeah, if we kind of zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, you can really see how a device like this WolfPack matrix switch isn't just about, plugging in cables or managing signals. Not really. It's more about unlocking creative potential. New functional possibilities for how we actually display and interact with visual information, especially on a large scale. It's like the central nervous system bringing it all together, making dynamic displays possible, even in really demanding spots, which raises an interesting question.
Yeah, so what does all this mean for you listening right now? Just think about the kinds of really immersive experiences or maybe highly functional dynamic spaces that suddenly become possible when you have this level of detailed command over your visual world. How might just one device like this WolfPack 1080p 16 by 16 switch actually change how a business engages its customers? Maybe with cool interactive displays, or how security teams monitor complex environments using comprehensive data walls, or even just how you could potentially transform your own home entertainment setup into something, well, truly extraordinary. Having the power to command your visual information with this kind of precision, it really does open up a whole new world of possibilities to think about.